In this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, the Shinobi Alliance finally has the power to take on the dreaded menace that is the Ten Tails. Thanks in part to Naruto and Kurama's quick thinking as they're able to distribute their chakra like candy to all of their friends in the Shinobi Alliance, thus giving them a massive power-up. This week's episode also saw the return of Sasuke Uchiha and the master of the Rhinestone Glove himself, Orochimaru. They returned to Konoha Village to revive some ancient badass ninja. But even with all of that happening, the great action, the impeccable pacing, and even the sad moments, at the end of the day, my favorite scene this week is Rock Lee kicking Madara in half. And that's just one of the many incredible scenes that you will see in this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden. It wasn't a perfect episode, the animation and the artwork could have been a little tighter and better in some places, but for what was here, it was awesome. They went through so many different manga chapters, and there were so many great scenes to count, so let's just talk about some of the highlights. First up is my main man, Naruto. I love how he is able to team up with literally everybody on the Shinobi Alliance. The scene where he makes his clones and they all jump off to different formations is really cool, and I love the fact that he's able to distribute Kurama's chakra through the power of the high five. I don't know why, but I just think this is really funny, and I love the fact that it's affecting people in different ways. Aside from the fact that it's giving them a red chakra cloak with fox ears, you have Choji, who is starting to rapidly gain weight. However, this is going to work to his benefit, because it's going to give him a massive power boost when the Ten Tails begins to attack. Him and his other members of the Akamichi clan grow into giants, and they're able to stop the incoming hands or tails or whatever the hell they are of the Ten Tails. And then you got Ino, who takes over Obito's body, and then you have Shikamaru and his clan. Yes, my friends, this is the return of the Ino Shikacho formation, and it works just as good as it did in the past, and it's working even better on this grander scale. And what I love most about the scene, aside from the fact that it's just a kick-ass action scene, is the fact that before it took place, you actually get to see the conversation that Shikamaru and Ino had with their dads before they passed away and this massive bomb went off. And it happens to be just as sad as it was last week with the Neji scene, and it also happened to be funny as well, because there's a scene where Shikaku mentions to Shikamaru, hey, there's this box in my drawer that I need you to get rid of. Do not let your mother see it. And even with all this crazy stuff going on, I want to know what's in that box. It makes no sense why I should even care. There's a massive battle going on with a primordial chakra demon, and all I want to know what's going on in frickin' Shikaku's drawers. But whatever, that's beside the point. Let's get back on track here. Naruto teaming up with everybody is fantastic. Like I said, everybody gets a power boost. Even Hinata was a badass this week. But the favorite scene this week from the attack is definitely when Naruto and Rock Lee were teaming up and they were running towards Obito and Madara. And they're not necessarily trying to defeat them so much as they're trying to sever their connection from the Ten Tails. And that's exactly what they do. Naruto has Rasen Shuriken, cuts through Obito, and then you got Rock Lee who kicks through Madara, and damn, was that satisfying. I loved that scene. But even though that was all the action and stuff this week, there was one scene that I really enjoyed, and that was the pep talk that Naruto gave to Rock Lee. This is a scene that in the manga version, I just didn't care for. It was one of those like, okay, keep going, turn the page. But when they include the voice acting and the music, it really does enhance those scenes quite a bit, and I'm going to give them some credit there. The fact that Obito is letting them know that, yeah, your friends are dead, there's nothing you can do about it, you're probably going to turn into a villain like me someday, and then Naruto gives his nice little cheesy speech about the fact that, yeah, they may be physically dead, but they'll always be alive in here. You might, not be able to ever get over it, but it's a constant reminder that they will always live on within your heart. And as cheesy as that is, it works here with all of the voice acting and the music. What really caught me by surprise is I actually thought that they were going to end the episode right there. Typically, the animators of Naruto like to spread things really thin, and they didn't do that this week. They included a whole nother scene with Sasuke, Orochimaru, Jugo, and Suigetsu returning to Konoha to revive some badass ancient ninja so that Sasuke can get himself some answers. And what I love most about this scene before they actually get to all the crazy Shinigami stuff is the scene where Sasuke runs up on the water tower and he takes a good long look at Konoha Village. And this is a nice allusion to when Naruto actually returned to the village. And I love the contrast here, how when Naruto returned, it was early in the morning. When Sasuke returned, it was at night. I just like the little detail there. But when they go to this underground area, they have this mask which looks just like the Death God, the Shinigami, the Grim Reaper, whatever you want to call it, the weird creepy demon guy who likes to cut himself up. They have a mask of this guy, and if you wear it, you're able to summon him, and whatever you do, the Shinigami will actually mimic that. So Orochimaru literally, cuts himself open, and so does the Shinigami. Thus, all of that chakra that he lost from his arms has actually returned to him, and he now has control over his arms again, and he's even more powerful. What's really strange about this, and it got me thinking about it, is apparently when you actually open up the Shinigami, will all of the chakra that's ever been in there, will that actually just like suddenly leave? Or is it just like corresponding to whoever is wearing the mask? Like since Orochimaru is using it, only his chakra will come out. I'm not quite sure how it works, but it's an interesting detail nonetheless. So we're going to need to revive some ninjas, so we're going to need some bodies, which is kind of messed up when you think about it. And I thought it was going to be Jugo and Suigetsu, but no, that is not the case. Since Orochimaru took back Kabuto's chakra, he actually found out that Sasuke has a lot of these Zetsu spores all over him, and he has Jugo use his weird powers to sort of like make them come out of his body, and they use these Zetsus to sort of revive all of these ninja, as well as give Orochimaru another brand new body for himself, which is really creepy when he's rising up from the floor and he's half Zetsu looking. But who are they reviving? Well, this is probably one of the craziest parts of this entire arc, and for people who just watch the anime, this has definitely got to be a pleasant surprise. But Orochimaru has revived all of the previous dead Hokage. Yes, they are all there, ready to kick some ass. You have the first Hokage, Hashirama Senju. You have the second Hokage, Tobirama Senju. You have the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi. And of course, you have the fourth Hokage, Naruto's father, Minato Namikaze. And what I love most about all of them is that all of their eye colors are completely different, especially Minato's. His actual Edo Tensei form has these like weird like bluish green eyes, which I just think look really awesome, and God, this is going to be such an exciting thing. And this is all leading to a massive backstory where we finally get to see the real battle between Madara and Hashirama. So what's the rundown on this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden? The animation and the artwork was not perfect. In fact, it was probably the only bad thing about this week's episode. However, the pacing really saved this one. It allowed you to really get absorbed into all of the different scenes, and there was a great mixture of everything. The action was good. Whenever they got to these sad moments with Rock Lee, that was handled well with all of the music and the voice acting, and it managed, I think, to be even better than the manga version. The scene with Sasuke and Orochimaru at the end is a really nice twist, just getting to see them return to Konoha Village. The sudden change in Orochimaru is kind of hard to get used to. Even when they were in the village, Suigetsu even brought up the fact that, hey, we're in the village right now. There's nobody around to stop you. You could totally just kill everyone right now. But Orochimaru has some other plans. He wants to see things unfold. In particular, he wants to see what Sasuke is up to. And I think this is really interesting. The return of the Hokages is a nice twist and is going to be a great addition to the rest of this arc. And frankly, this is a moment that I've been really waiting to see. And I'm really surprised that they were able to get through all of that this week. It's just amazing the pacing that's been going on in Naruto for the last couple of weeks. So let's just kick back and enjoy this while we can, because everything's going really, really good right now. And you definitely need to check out next week's episode, which looks like it's finally going to go into the final backstory and battle of Hashirama and Madara. And it looks like the animation is going to be really nice, so make sure and check that one out. But this week's episode, I loved it. Like I said, the animation and the artwork could have been a little better at times, but for what was there, it kicked ass. So I'm going to drop a 9 out of 10 on this episode of Naruto. I just loved everything about it. All of the cool moments, all the sad moments, all of the badass action scenes, and Rock freaking Lee! Hell yeah, guys, check it out. Chances are, if you're watching this video, you probably saw this week's episode of Naruto Shippuden, and I would love to hear your thoughts about it, and you can tell me with your comments below. Did you guys have any favorite action scenes or any favorite scenes in particular from this week's episode? How did you feel about the return of all of the previous Hokages? You can let me know with your comments below. Remember, guys, before you leave, hit the like button so you can give this video a thumbs up. Super, super easy to do, but the most easiest thing to do to help out our videos is to simply watch them and to subscribe to the channel. You can also check us out on social media like Facebook and in Twitter. I'll put links to those in the description box below. Also, guys, if you would like, you can also directly donate to Super Kami Guru 9000. So, guys, I will see you next time. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.